We are back again live with the Vaping Nation podcast. Here we are. I'm Justin, and this is...
I'm Dustin.
Dustin. And we're just doing a quick update today. We're going to be doing a full-blown couple shows here coming up the next couple days, but we just wanted to throw something out there to let you guys know what was happening. Again, we're going to be doing podcasts probably almost every day, at least 3 or 4 times a week, probably here for a while, all kinds of things. And we'll be soon be doing interviews of the local area stores as well as regional area, trying to get around to do some interviews of store owners and talk to them about the latest legislation here in Indiana is pretty bad. And we'd like to talk to some of the local stores about what's happening with them and what they plan to do and how it's going to affect them, and what they see in terms of what's on the horizon for the nation as well as them locally and how they see this all panning out. So again, I'm Dustin. This is I'm Justin. This is Dustin.
I'm Dustin.
You're Dustin?
I'm Dustin.
I'm Justin. And we're I need name tags. I don't yeah. So
What'd you say, Sonny?
what?
Huh?
He's picking on the old man now. That's what he's doing. Picking on the old man. Yeah. So again, we'll just kind of briefly go over what we're doing here. We got we're going to be bringing some news. You have any news there hot off the press that you found? Or
No.
We'll
They do have on CASA's front page here. They have a little thing where you can add your story, put your story in about how you quit smoking and your success story with e-cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
And then they take that and they post it on the public web page for everyone to see. So that's kind of a good way to get your story out there and let people see what e-cigarettes are doing for people, how it's changing people's lives and helping them survive. Survivor! Eye of the tiger! What's that noise?
This is making my iPad's making some kind of noise. That's interesting.
Yeah, so that's on CASA there. That's what they got there. Lizardo did a review. The Smoke Expo M80 Plus box mod. Looks like it's a 15-watt mod. That looks kind of interesting. And Grim Green did a review on the Torchworks Dual 18650 unregulated box mod. You might want to check that out. And I also saw, I guess at the Vapor Slam, it's one of the ecig conventions. They had this was in March. They had a roast of grape green at the show.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, they videoed it. It's on YouTube. So I haven't watched it yet. But
You just type in.
yeah, it's a roast of Grim Green.
Okay.
Live from Vapor Slam.
Yeah. Well. It could have been right here in Indiana, but we won't talk about that.
Vapor Slam could have been right here.
We could have had a roast of Grim Green right here in Indiana if you would have shown up. But,
well, we could roast him right now.
We could roast him. You just won't be here for that. I'm gonna roast you. So let's talk once again about some of the interesting things happening here in Indiana. We got so for them, we're going to get into the nitty gritty of some of the legislation. You don't have to have that legislation out, do you? You kind of know some things about it. So my understanding is, starting as of July 1st, the legislation kicks in. Now, as of right now, they've passed a bill that basically makes all e-cig use the same as any cigarette use. So if you see a sign that says no smoking within 8 feet of this building, or 8 feet of this door, or 20 feet of this door, whatever they've got there, or public places, or public buildings, government buildings, that kind of thing. If you can't smoke in those by law, then you also can't vape it within those by law, supposedly. Now there are some other places that are private property that they've kind of said you can and can't smoke, and those are kind of it's not very well stipulated. Technically, if there's an owner of a business who allows smoking in his business or doesn't allow smoking in his business, he could allow vaping and not smoking. So that's the private owner's decision to do that kind of thing. But in public places or where it's a regulation or a law or on a statute or whatever, it's because you're going to, whatever, for whatever reason. If you're not allowed to smoke there, you're not allowed to vape there. So that's kind of what they're doing with that. But as of July 1st, then everything will kick in a little differently. And that's when they have the rules on, for every batch of e-cig juice you make, you have to have 3 bottles of the batch. I can't remember what is it, a 1 ounce bottle or whatever it is. You have to have a sample 3 sample bottles of each batch that you make, and you have to keep those for 7 years, 5 years, or some kind of ridiculous amount of time. And those have to be kept in a secure place, and I think also under surveillance as well. It's a ridiculous thing. And then you have to have a security company come in and certify your building and your door and all your lab and where all your materials are. And then you have to keep all your supplies. See, what I don't understand, there's so many loose ends to this legislation, and there's so many other things that can be done now outside of it that it's going to be difficult for them to have any kind of standards or standard practices involving the whole thing. So that's going to be a whole nother, if somebody wants to make a lot of money, they could probably step in with the government right now and just say, we're going to offer you all these standards that you have to sell to, that everybody has to comply with, and we'll come in and inspect everybody. That's kind of what's happening. They're passing this money on. People are going to, around the industry, are going to make a bunch of money, and of course those are all people that are close to the politicians. So those are the ones who are, at least in, allegedly, I'm sure there's no money going back to anybody's campaign on that, but that's how that stuff works. So anyway, what the problem that you've got is, okay, let's say I was in business to make e-juice, and I order a bunch of supplies into my shop here, and it comes UPS. I mean, I get the VG, the PG, and I get the nicotine, and I got my flavorings, and I got all my stuff here. It's all sitting there on the counter. That's not considered a controlled substance, and it's just sitting there, and it comes in, the UPS guy delivers it. All of a sudden, when we open up that bottle and we start doing something with it to put it in more bottles or mixing it together, all of a sudden it becomes this big deal, and it's even though more people have died from tainted ice cream than have ever died from e-cig juice, they're going to still require you to have all these standards put on it. So the question is, are they going to have an armed guard here, person from the government watching us bring the box in from the UPS driver to where it is now in the secure area? Or when does that all begin? That's just one of the probably 50 loose ends on this whole thing. Where can you store your materials prior to mixing? I mean, are you going to have to keep everything for all of your raw materials, all the mixing supplies? Are you going to keep all those? It just all those things are just way too ambiguous. And of course, there's the the childproof cap thing and all that stuff, and how that's all going to work. How are you going to be able to have a childproof cap that works with? I don't know of anybody that manufactures an eyedropper childproof cap right now that you can replace and it becomes childproof when you put it back on.
I've seen one. It's got the rubber top comes out, and the rim around it is one of those things that you have to
snap or
push down on to open, or else it just clicks. But you don't see too many of them. Most people that have the eye drops just use a seal, heat shrink seal.
Yeah. Well, so once you've opened that, it's no longer childproof.
Yeah. So you'd have to buy those, which adds to the cost of your product.
And of course, the guy who is selling those types of caps is going to make a fortune because he's got.
I was just looking here. I saw something about Utah. Utah just tried to pass. Let's see, where was that? Utah House Committee. The HB 170 failed to pass, and so I looked up that Utah HB 170, and it's a law against e-cigarettes and flavored tobacco stuff, and it didn't pass in Utah, so they're pretty excited about that. But some of the stuff about it makes it a misdemeanor to provide an electronic cigarette to another if the electronic cigarette does not have a switch. So a mechanical mod like this would be illegal to sell to somebody
because it doesn't have
a switch.
And who's that's doing that?
This is, well, Utah tried. This is what they tried to pass.
But
it didn't pass. And there's a bunch of other stuff in here. It does have prohibits and provides penalties for the sale of a cigar, cigarette, electronic cigarette, nicotine product, or tobacco by a person under 19 years old to a person who is 19 years old or older.
A person 119 years old?
Yeah.
Is that what you
said? A person who is 19 years...
Oh, under 19 years old. I thought you said 119
prohibits
years old.
and provides penalties for the sale of a cigar, cigarette, electronic cigarette, nicotine product, or tobacco by a person under 19 years old to a person who is 19 years old or older.
Wow.
So if someone 18 years old sells someone that's 20...
That's okay.
No.
Oh.
It's against the law. It would be against the law for this bill.
But if you're 20 and you sell it to somebody...
You can't be under 19 and sell the product to anybody.
But you can be over 19 and sell it.
Yeah.
To somebody 18.
No.
Oh.
19.
Kind of funny. I was just going to say. Yeah. Because we got a lot of kids in here. 12-year-olds, 11-year-olds going, hey, I want some gummy bear e-juice. That's what we get all the time,
Yeah, adults hate candy flavors.
Yeah. No adults like anything candy.
The only reason you would
like
make a candy flavored juice is because you're targeting those pesky children.
Because grown-ups only like things like poop flavor and gritty dirt type stuff.
That is a big seller.
Poop flavors are good. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's got a lot of stuff like that in there. It makes it a Class A misdemeanor to knowingly acquire, use, display, or transfer a false or altered driver's license certificate or identification card to procure a nicotine product. And so this is actually going after nicotine itself. Anything
nicotine product.
Yeah, so it's not just tobacco or e-cigarettes. So that didn't pass though, so that's good. At least some states have some sense. Indiana doesn't, but you know how that goes.
Yeah, it's
It's amazing that Indiana was able to get that passed. I just don't understand that. Everybody was, everybody was so involved in that the whole thing about the governor passing the Religious Rights Act.
Yeah, that just happened to be at the same time.
Yeah, they just slipped it underneath while everybody was paying attention to that.
Nobody talked about it in the news. Nothing happened there with that whole thing. It's kind of weird. But that's interesting though that what was I going to say? I just lost my train of thought. Huh. That's pretty.
That trains are rolling.
Trains are rolling. Super tanker.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. That the one of the people in Warsaw that we talked to said that they were out picketing, before they passed it at Carlin Yoder's office, outside his window. They were picketing because I guess they were calling him a liar because apparently Carlin Yoder had told them that this wasn't going to happen or something along those lines. So so they were out there picketing him and yelling at him. And Carlin actually came out of his office, came across the streets, and threatened them.
Yeah, this is according to them.
Yeah.
What was it? He said something about we're going to pass it today.
Yeah, if you don't get out of here, we're going to pass this right now. Which it just goes to show you what creeps these people are.
That's just bully tactic stuff.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The power hungry, greedy idiots that are there.
Well, I think probably what happened in Indiana was a little different. And if they would have had time to get it organized in Utah, they'd probably done the same thing with all the big business. If they would have had everything in place with the money people, like the security company and the pharma companies and everything else that was around all the stuff that there's like 3 or 4 different companies stand to make a fortune, basically.
Security
The security company and the camera companies and all the stuff that's going on with this, because of all the things surrounding this bill and making it, to be legitimate. You've got to have all these other entities involved, and there's only certain ones that are certified by the state. So it'd be interesting to follow the money trail back to see where their money's going and what all's happening there and how much they've invested in that. And I know there's also some big e-cig, not e-cig companies, but e-juice companies in Indiana have a lot of stores, and there is one store that suspiciously, they have several stores actually, but one company that actually already has everything all in place even before the legislation was put into being. Basically, the legislation mirrors exactly what they're doing, and so it kind of looks almost as if they played a part in forming or shaping the way it should be done, because by golly, they've already got it done. I mean, it's not going to cost them anything. Everybody else is going to be put out. They basically, it looks like they want to take over the market. I mean, let me put it this way: it looks like they could take over the market because they just happened to be in the right place with all the right equipment and everything already done for them, and everybody else has to catch up to where they're at. So it gives them a huge ability to get a run on everybody, on all the other mom and pop stores, and they're trying to run the mom and pop stores out. They just don't. And frankly, let's back up 1 second and just mention this. We also know that there are a lot of vape stores, and some places, there's some head shops and stuff selling vape out of there too, e-juice and stuff. So that you've got those kinds of companies doing things. So they're also selling not just e-juice, but there are some companies out there that are doing some nefarious things, and they're not all above board. It only takes 1 in every 100 of them to make it, bad for everybody. But there are a few of those stores out there. They're selling stuff, controlled substances outside, in the back room. Whether you agree with the sale of certain herbs or not, or whether they should be legal or not, they're not legal right now, and that's what part of the problem is there's that group of people who is just bent on eradicating anything that could possibly be bad for everybody else. So and I understand their argument. I understand both sides of the argument, but it's just, until that's done, it's just the money behind everything is what's a little bit spooky and scary in some ways, because of what they're doing with the way they're trying to manipulate and control everybody with all that.
Yeah.
But I digress.
You do? Okay.
I don't even know what that means.
All right.
I'm just
trying to talk you out of it.
I'm just digressing because I hear everybody else say
I don't want to see you go down that road.
Well, I don't know what, okay.
I've been there.
Oh, well.
I've lived in a slide.
Yeah.
I know it's not fun.
Was slide of digression?
Yeah.
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 Huh.
When those kids come out for their morning recess and they see a drunken spew full of a man that's vomited and feces on himself in the slide, they get scared.
Well, I wonder why.
They get scared. They run to the teacher.
Huh. I wouldn't have gotten scared when I was a kid. I saw it. Back in my day, when I was a kid, that was just all the time. We just see it all the time.
Yeah, and what got me there was digression.
Digression.
So yes. I urge you not to do that. Digress.
Well, all right. I won't digress then.
I saw this.
I digress from my digression.
There's a proposed law in New York. Guess what they want to do?
They want to kill everybody who's vaping.
Actually, they want every kid to start vaping. They want children, elderly folk, dead people,
good for them.
Dogs, cats,
Zombies.
dinosaurs. They want everybody to vape.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
No, it's going to. I'll read you a little bit. On Tuesday, January 25th, the New York State Assembly Health Committee is scheduled to discuss proposed bill A01468, which would outlaw the sales of electronic cigarettes. Just completely outlaw them. Not just to kids, to everybody.
So they can still sell cigarettes.
Yeah, cigarettes. You can still sell cigarettes.
Because e-cigs are killing everybody.
Beer and all that.
And regular cigarettes are just like everybody, in the prime of life, that's when you really want to be smoking, because regular cigarettes are so good for you. So we're going to get rid of those e-cigarettes, those nasty e-cigarettes.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. You can't tell me Big Tobacco's not behind that.
Oh, yeah. They're definitely. And the politicians that are behind it they're all, they got their hand in the pocket.
I mean, show me a group of citizens in New York City that are out on the street
wanting
yelling for e-cigarettes to be completely banned.
Yeah. Well, they're there all over the place. All over the place. They're called zombies.
I thought these were supposed to be representatives of the people.
Oh, no.
That's what I thought.
They're dictators and overlords.
I see.
They were never meant to be.
Well,
they were never
that
meant to
explains
be.
it.
Yeah, see, you missed that little part. There's like fine print in the Constitution. It talks about the dictators and overlords and the oligarchy in which, we have Bushes and Clintons and Bushes and then Clintons and Bushes and Clintons. And that's pretty much all we're going to have. I've actually seen, I think, 11 different presidents in my lifetime, something like that. And 4, 5, half of them have probably been from the same family. It's kind of that weird.
See, Lincoln, you were.
I was around when
Abraham
Lincoln
was when you were born.
See, when I was born, Kennedy was president, and then it was Lyndon B. Johnson, and then it was Richard Nixon, and then it was.
I'm not a crook.
And I'm not a
crook. I'm not.
And then it was Carter, or no, I'm sorry, then it was Ford, and then Carter, and then it was Reagan. And then Reagan again, and then Bush 1, and then Clinton, and then Bush 2, and then Bush 2 again, and then Obama.
Don't forget about Bush 3.
And then there's Bush 3 coming up, Part 3. Bush Part 3 coming up, 2016.
And then Obama, yeah, Obama. Obama and his wife, Mr.
Obama.
Michelle Obama.
Yes, Mr. Michelle Obama. Yes.
Yeah.
So, that's fine. What is that? 8, 9, 10 presidents there?
I don't know. Yeah. I don't care anymore.
I just want to put a word in real quick for the Vape Expo show coming up. For all of you can make it. We're going to be taking a bus from here. It leaves. It's on June 19th through the 20th, which is 2 days, 19th through the 20th.
There's a bus going?
There's a bus going right out of here. We're really loading up right out here in front of the studio. And you can, you didn't know about this?
Can I go?
Yeah, you can go. Yeah, hop on. Yeah. Tickets are $5,200, and you get on board the bus, and we're driving to Moscow. Moscow, Vape Expo, June 19th and 20th. Just want to let you guys know about that.
Moscow is having a Vape Expo?
Yeah, Moscow is having a vape. They're having more freedom there than they do here. But that's, let's vape and stay in touch. That's what it says. Yeah.
Really? Moscow?
Moscow.
There's a market we need
Russia.
to tap into.
Yeah, let's go to Russia. Well, I don't want to live in Russia. Let's just send stuff to them.
Well, this banana's good.
This tea is good.
Clouds of banana.
Taking a little break, a tea break.
Clouds of banana.
Well, I think that's about all the news.
Well, I got a tip of the day. Maybe.
Oh, tip of the day.
Tip of the
ding,
day.
ding, ding. Tip of the day. Here we go.
This is something I figured out in my years of vaping.
Yeah.
I just happened to see some of the devices I've bought over the years, and I bought a. That figures. I can't remember the names of them.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. That's from all the years of pill popping and stuff. Yeah.
What?
Huh? What?
This tip might have to wait till tomorrow.
Tip of the day. It's
the tip
suspense.
of the day is going to be tomorrow.
Tip of today is for tomorrow. Tip of the day is stay tuned for tomorrow's show. That's what the tip of the day is.
Let's see if I can. The Machiavelli. I bought a Machiavelli, a red 18350 Machiavelli, and then I also bought a Noble
Did you get that
One.
at McDonald's?
A black Noble One. That's an 18350 mod. And I used them for a while. I liked them. They were great. But the 18350 is a smaller battery out of the 18350s or 1800 size.
As big as your head.
I always, I was like, man, I wish this one of these would take an 490 battery.
That's what I'm always thinking.
Man, I wish they'd sell a bigger battery tube for it. So I was sitting there looking at them. I thought, well, the Machiavelli has kind of a weird button. It's got a magnetic button. It's got a magnet in it that you push the thing up. It pushes the magnet up.
Oh yeah.
Or it pushes the whole battery up.
It's like more, instead of a spring, it's
yeah. So it takes up a lot of room. It's so the tube is pretty long, and the Noble One just has a regular spring loaded bottom button. So I thought, well, I wonder if the threads for the Noble One battery button would work in the Machiavelli tube. That might give it enough room to fit a bigger battery in there. Bada boom, bada bing! It worked. So if you have a Machiavelli 18350 device and you have a Noble One, which you could because they're both sold on the same site, so there might be quite a few people with both of them. You can, if you take the magnetic button out of the Machiavelli and put the Noble One button on there, you can put a 18490 AW battery in there.
Well, there you go.
Which is nice. It's a nice tip.
That's quite the tip.
Yeah.
It's a big tip right there.
This isn't. This is a iHybrid Pure. That's what I'm using there.
Oh, I'm using a plastic cup. That I have. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
Plastic cup for my tea.
Oh. Well, I guess.
I drink tea.
I use a big thermos for my tea.
Huh. He has tea and he vapes.
Vapors tend to be thirsty.
Huh. Why is that?
Because vaping dries your mouth out.
Oh, that's why they're trying to ban it.
Yeah.
We can't have people running around with dry mouth.
That's right.
That's no good.
You'd think the pop industry would be behind vaping.
You'd think so. Well, I think that checks off our last part of our day here. So I think we're all set, ready to go. And anything else to add to the fine people?
No, we'll have more tomorrow. There.
We'll have more tomorrow.
I'm Justin.
Tomorrow won't be. And I'm Justin.
I'm Justin. He's Justin.
I'm Justin. He's Dustin.
Keep on vaping on.
Oh, tip of the day. Ding, ding, ding. Tip of the day. There you go.
This is something I figured out in years.
What?
This tip might have to wait till tomorrow.
Tip of the day. It's
The tip
suspense.
of the day is going to be tomorrow.
Tip of today is for tomorrow. Tip of the day is
Tune in.
stay tuned for tomorrow's show. That's what the tip of the day is.